gubernatorial election may be more than a year away, but it's already heating up just like our temperatures. With the confirmation of Richard Cordray in Washington earlier this week as the head of the federal consumer watchdog agency, it really paves the way for Ed Fitzgerald to be the Democratic nomination in the Ohio governor's race. And I'm sitting here with Mr. Fitzgerald, so thanks for joining us here.
Sure.
The nomination going through, that really does pave the way for you. What was your reaction to that, and how has that changed maybe your focus of the race?
Well, I was happy for Rich Cordray, first of all. I've known him for 24 years since I was a student at Ohio State, many years ago. So I've been a fan of his and a friend of his for a long time. So I thought it was a good thing for him and a good thing for the country that he was confirmed. But it does mean that the Democratic Party, I think, is kind of coalescing behind my candidacy. And that just means that we'll have that much more time to make the case about why we think the state needs to head in a different direction.
So why do you think that you will be a good governor and a better governor than our current governor, Governor Kasich?
Well, I've managed to do, I think, some very positive things in my part of a state. I was a mayor and I was also a county official, and we've really turned things around both fiscally. We've done a lot of great job training programs and job creation programs. We've invested more in local schools and early childhood education. And this budget that just passed and was signed by the governor, I think, is a great example of how not to do things, actually. And I would like to take things in a different direction.
Are there any specifics with this budget you have a problem with?
There's a lot. We probably don't have enough time for all of them, but first of all, it raises everybody's sales taxes, and I thought that was a big mistake. In the long run, it's going to raise everybody's property taxes. I thought that was a big mistake. And it also does some very extreme things when it comes to women's health care, especially these restrictions on rape crisis centers, I think, are totally beyond the pale. And I thought the governor should have stepped in and said that was just too extreme, and he didn't do that.
Now, the latest poll out of the Quinnipiac University poll has the governor's approval rating inching towards the highest level yet, the 54 to 32%. Does it worry you? What does that say to you, and how will you change the minds then of the people of Ohio?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it depends where you start from. It's his highest yet, but that's because it was so low. So after Senate Bill 5, when his approval numbers were in the 30s, yeah, it's higher than that. But if you ask people, are they planning on voting for him, it's only about 47%. And if 90% of the state knows who you are, as they do with Governor Kasich, and only 47% say they're going to vote for him again, that's not a big vote of confidence, quite honestly.
So what do you have planned as far as getting out the vote and getting your name out there? Because, yeah, Governor Kasich is very well known, and that is sometimes half the battle.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's helpful to him, sometimes it's not. But basically, we're being as active as we possibly can. We're in all parts of the state. We were in Dayton yesterday. We'll be in Cincinnati next week. And you just keep traveling the state and getting to know the state. And it's an introduction. And we've got, 16 months before the election, so we've got a ways to go.
All right, Ed Fitzgerald, thanks so much for joining us
Good
here.
to be here.
We hope to see you. And we do want to mention that we did extend an offer for Governor Kasich to come on the show this morning. He has an event in Cincinnati, so he wasn't able to come, but we do hope to have him on the show when his schedule permits.